completely inappropriate. Viewers' discretion is strongly advised. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to episode 6 of the Coffee Mug Show. This episode is sponsored by Enter Your Name Here. If you're looking for a new show to sponsor, please contact us. This morning, I am joined by two of my favorite people, Derek and Mark. But before we go talk to them, I'm going to talk to you about my mug. This mug is a Christmas mug. Unfortunately, this is the only mug that I have that's actually colorful that doesn't clash with my shirt. So my name is Leonard, and Derek, you wanna say hello and tell me about your mug and what you're drinking?
Good morning, everyone. This morning I have a cauldron.
Nice.
Nice cauldron here with some nice H2O because it's very hot out here in Southern Ontario. So, yeah, we're into like the 40s today.
Mark, how about you? What are you drinking this morning?
Well, good morning, everyone. Sorry, I do apologize for not being here last week and trying to save the debacle that happened. But this morning, well, I'm back to the force. Be with me with some juice in there. No coffee for me this morning.
So, do you want to talk about what happened last week? Or yes, are you too embarrassed?
Actually, please fill me in on as to what happened last week.
No, we're talking about you here. We're talking about us.
Oh, me?
Mark was being a good partner. That's what he was. He was not here for a good reason. Isn't that right, Mark?
That's right. I was celebrating my daughter's birthday. So, I couldn't be on here.
Yeah. Okay, so if you guys are joining us at in our stream live, you can actually you can talk to us through chat. Yes, this morning you can talk us through chat and do your comments at twitch.tv/the Coffee Shop Studio, or you can actually send your comments through Twitter at coffeeshop_2. It's a long story. I couldn't get studio part because someone already took in it, so I had to use 2. So if you guys are willing to join us, definitely we're willing to listen to you guys. We have Mark moderating the chat room instead of me compared to last week, so it'll be better moderated. So this morning we're going to be talking about a couple of topics here. One is Elon Musk versus the journalist. The second topic that we're going to be talking about is the world in the world of Canada, and how Canadians deal with ex-boyfriends or ex-girlfriends. So, if you guys yes, if you read you'll see, you'll see. We'll start with Elon Musk versus journalists. So, to make the long story short, Elon Musk decided to start a brand new company called Pravda. Pravda, if you guys don't know what Pravda is, it's a Russian word for truth, and it's also a newspaper linked to the Communist Party during the USSR. Okay, so he decided to start this new venture because he had some bad not particularly him, but he was involved in some bad press regarding self-driving cars and accidents, especially in California. So some of the reporters are questioning if self-driving cars is the future. So. And some governments decided to put a little bit of pressure to like Uber, Google, Tesla to fix the issues, make it better. So some of the companies are postponing the launch or testing on the self-driving cars. So that's the history of it. But Elon Musk took it personally. He said that those guys sucks. They don't know what they're talking about. They're getting bad press for no apparent reason. So he ended up tweeting saying that those holy and thou psycho crisp of big media company who lays claim to the truth but publish only enough sugarcoat the lies. So that was a tweet that's coming out. That's coming up from him. So now some of the reporters are fighting back. It's like, this is the most stupidest thing. We're telling you the truth. So about a few months ago, Elon Musk decided to have decide to have a financial call to their investors, especially to the journalists. When one of the reporters did ask Elon Musk a question, he freaked out and just ignored the guy and called him. I think he ended up calling him names or something like that. And now it just blew out of proportion. Unfortunately, this news doesn't have the legs in mainstream media, but the mainstream tech media is having a field day on this. So he decided to start this company called Prava. It's literally a Yelp for journalists. People can actually rate those journalists and saying, hey, this journalist is good, this journalist is bad, and stuff like that. So the question I have for everyone, including the chat room here, do you guys think that Elon Musk is just being a baby about this, or he's literally just like a rich man just throwing a tantrum, right? And is this going to be an issue because of freedom, because of the freedom of the press, or is it intimidating the press to make sure that their company gets better coverage than the bad coverage? You know what I mean? So, what do you guys think? Hopefully I explained that properly.
I'll have to say it was like, woo!
Yeah. You know what? The reality is that Elon Musk is a guy who runs, 3 companies?
Yeah.
Companies. Well, most CEOs can barely handle one, and the man runs 3 of them. And, Tesla is close to his heart. He loves the thing. So, and I mean, he's human, how many people do you know? I mean, we talk about politicians and so forth all the time that they go on little tirades, and we know who we're talking about, but, he has, he's just a guy, and he got frustrated with the reporter perhaps because Tesla has an extremely good safety record. It has one of the best in the industry. And certainly there is problems with any new technology that comes out, and you don't know what's going to happen with it. They tested it extensively. They have high safety standards, and I think he may have taken it personally because he takes great pride in Tesla and he wants to change the world and improve it. And this is part of the package that he's doing it with Tesla, right? I'm not surprised that he had a reaction. But in regards to the website and so forth, he's a change. He does what he wants. I mean, he's a billionaire. He can do whatever he wants. You could have started a Yelp thing for something, right, Leonard? But you know that how enjoyable that you get when you're doing your reviews and so forth. Maybe this is his thing. We don't know, right? Reporters have thick skins. I don't think they care. I don't think they're really going to care 2 ways. Maybe they look at it as a tantrum, but also it's a piece of news. Myself personally, I didn't know about this article until you brought it to my attention, and I've personally seen Elon Musk in interviews and so forth. He's a very composed man. I'm not sure the circumstances. I didn't see the interview, so I can't really comment on that. But I think that he's human, and maybe it did happen.
Mark?
I like I said, that went right over my head today. So, I'm honestly right now, I'm still trying to recover from last night, and I'm actually trying to respond to one of the comments here about controlling about fake news.
Well, here's the thing though: is it considered fake news if it's true?
Well, but do we know, right? Do we know it's fake news, though?
No, I did check around. It is not a fake news. People have been reporting this. Like Twit has been reporting it. New York Times has been reporting it. Washington Post has been reporting it. It's out there, but it wasn't really become mainstream because of, again, is it intimidation with the press?
That doesn't matter because we know that the mainstream will pick up anything that is clickbait these days. So I don't necessarily completely believe in that. And in regards to fake news, a reporter might take something out of context or blow something out of proportion. I do think that happens in the news cycle today, just to get a reaction, right? And like I said, Elon Musk is not known for being a guy who's not composed and who's not thoughtful in the way he speaks. I think that, with Tesla, it is the future, and people will always push it back against innovation and the future. And that's exactly what's happening here, right? I have heard of a couple of crashes of Teslas. That is true. It has happened. It's concerning. Because they were on that self-driving or auto-driving piece and so forth, and some of them were pretty bad. On the same hand, Tesla their cars are very safe, and I don't think people were killed in that. I actually don't know off the top of my head, but I don't think people were killed. They were definitely injured, but has a great safety record, and that's part of the parcel where Elon Musk probably wanted to get that point across as well, right?
No, I agree with you. Sorry, Mark.
Or I mean, like again. Tesla is his baby, right? And anything against it, it's like somebody punching him right in the gut. It's a shot to his ego, right? So, and you're right, Derek. He's not one. Like I'm not saying he's impolitically correct, but yeah, he wears his heart on his shoulder sometimes regarding his stuff, and sometimes he makes comments without thinking. So.
No, maybe he had a bad day. Everybody has a bad day, right? Yeah. He probably has a lot of investors because there was this crash, and they probably had a lot of investors coming up to him and going, "Hey, man, the cars aren't being produced very effectively here. You're not producing them at the rate you said you were going to. By the way, several times, and now they're crashing." So he probably had a lot of pressure from investors.
Yeah. Well, okay, we got a couple of things here. Does the CEO represent the company? And we got another one here. Reporters latch onto anything and blow it up. He's doing a great job with self-driving cars, and nothing's going to be perfect in the beginning. That was from Platinum 728.
I agree 100% that the CEO does represent the company, and he is the face of the company.
Yeah, so they're responsible for the direction and the development and so forth. And generally, they have a board of directors which they answer to.
Yeah, and they're also the face of the company. Right, so if they ending up saying, "Hey, I am the face of this company, and I literally did something really, really dumb or stupid or get in jail," guess what? I'm still representing the company, right? The value of the company will drop significantly, or not drop significantly, but it will get affected, right?
Well, so, I mean, if you take a look at it, how many people got fired from their jobs from Facebook because they made a stupid comment? Perfect example, Roseanne.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right?
That's a shame, though. When we talk about Roseanne, I think about all the people that lost their job. That's a lot of people that lost their job. And, ABC, or was it ABC? Was it Fox? I can't remember. ABC, they had a knee-jerk reaction. Not that what she said wasn't right in any way, shape, or form, but why did they have such a strong reaction to it? I'm sure the show was doing things
because Disney owns ABC. So with Disney's everybody trying to conform to Disney, who's the big papa now. Although Roseanne's comments was not reflective of everybody else, she is the head of the show. Like, she's the star of the show. She's the one that think about it.
Her name's on the show. I get it. I really do. But there's other ways that you possibly could deal with that. Maybe have her. I don't know if people have been watching the new season, but she had to go in for surgery or something. Maybe kill her off. I don't know. Shows do it all the time, man. All the time. Have a different actress come in and replace her. There's lots of ways. I don't feel so much for her as a person because what she did was wrong. I just feel about all those other people that lost their job, and it happens.
Yeah. Sorry,
go ahead. No, going back to everything. Let's going back to Elon.
Yeah,
he is the face. A lot of things that he says can affect the company, and don't forget, although he's CEO, he still has to answer to people.
Yes.
Right.
Shareholders.
And so should he have a PR team?
I agree. They should put
maybe he does, but I've never seen anything that would imply that. He seems very hands-on. There's comments that he sleeps in the Tesla factory to try to get the production line up and going. So he's a very hands-on kind of guy.
Yeah, but at the same time, if ethic is amazing. His products that he's releasing works, and I believe in self-driving cars, right? But I think the question is if he becomes the face of the company that he's building, would he does he require a PR person or PR team to make sure that whatever he says gets whatever message the company and himself gets to the public, it'll be the positive side.
I don't think he's that kind of guy as a person. I don't think it's necessarily needed to have a PR person. I think it's advisable. But as you said, this has not really gained that much traction in the media, even though, and we'll just make an assumption here for the moment. Let's assume the reporter was offended or something. They went away. They wanted to blow something out of proportion. I'm not saying they did, but maybe they did. And they wanted to make a news article out of it. And they thought, this is my mechanism. So who is the instigator here? Is it the journalist who wrote this article? Or is it Elon Musk who perhaps lost his temper or got upset with the reporter?
Yeah.
Yes, it's both. But again, it's like, wow, there's a thing now here about Roseanne. Completely wrong in the way they reacted. They should have made her publicly apologize. Thank you, Platinum 728. Sorry.
Yeah, I thought an apology would have worked in regards to that. I mean, we obviously live in a very hypersensitive society now. Very hypersensitive.
Well, here's the thing, though, because going into the reboot of Roseanne, everyone knows that Roseanne was a Trump supporter, right? Yeah. Going into this, even just before they start shooting the first episode, they already know that, right? Well, but for them to start the show and start freaking out because of their comments, do they expect that from her automatically? I wasn't shocked when she said all that. Right?
Well, put it this way, okay. I mean, the show was she may be a Trump supporter, and if you watch the show, you could see that she and Dan voted for Trump, and Jackie was a Democrat. And it was giving a take on what a family could be in the States right now, where the household could be divided. A family could be divided by their political views. But regardless of what your political views are, and making a comment, that type of comment, again, like, just put it back to where she put the excuse on the medication that she was taking, where the actual manufacturer of the medication came out and says, well, one of the side effects of medication is not racism.
They have a point. They have a point there.
I think she was really trying to backpedal in any way, shape, or form, because as soon as it came out, it blew up, and she knew it. And you're right. She all of that happened after, all of her comments after whatever are just backpedaling and making an attempt to dissuade it, other than just taking responsibility for it upright, right? And then when the show was canceled and fired, she went begging to ABC and so forth to have it reinstated, which, I think if she had apologized up front, perhaps it might have gone better. I just, you don't know.
So the question is now is like, is the CEO, is the face of the company?
We're not talking about that right now.
I'm just saying.
We're not talking about Roseanne.
But again, it's the person's face.
In this Roseanne topic here now.
But I'm just going back to the main the first topic here. So because Michelle 289 did ask, I think she's the one who said it regarding is the CEO the face of the company. In this case, Roseanne is the face of the show. Doesn't matter who produced it, who's the executive producer, who's the studio is.
But right. As I said before, you could replace the character. That happens all the time in TV. Take example, a show called Kevin Can't Wait. There was the mother figure on the show after the first season. They killed her off and brought in I'm so bad with names. People in the chat, help me out with
Leah Remini.
Yeah, Remini. And, they both work together on King of Queens, and their chemistry is good, and I enjoy that. But here's my next question. If you wanted her on the show, why didn't you bring her on the first season and just kind of do this rehash thing, right? I don't know the circumstances around the other person leaving, but it really changed the dynamic of the show, and it's in trouble now, right? But you could also have a positive impact where ABC would say, this is a show we believe in. You still keep the show called Roseanne. You just change the actress, right? Simple solution where everybody doesn't have to lose their job.
Well, but again, changing the actress on a show based upon the actress is kind of difficult, right? It's
I'm not
like,
denying that. I'm not. I'm just saying that there was other ways to solve the solution other than a knee-jerk reaction, which from ABC, which is, I think, my problem with it. It was just a knee-jerk reaction, right?
well, I mean, it says, yeah, like, I mean, a lot of people are agreeing is that it could have been like it could have been dealt with another way. But again, it's not up to ABC again. It was maybe it was who's the CEO? Who's the CEO of Disney? Michael. Why do I keep forgetting his name?
It's funny because nobody remembers that, but he's probably one of the most powerful guys in the world now.
Yes, he is. Oh my God! Somebody tell me who's the CEO of Disney is. Michael.
CEO of the Disney.
Yeah. Okay. I gotta Google this. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, I think Mark.
Bob Iger. Bob Iger. Or Iger. What am I saying, Michael?
Iger. I think it's Michael Iger.
So the main decision came down from him and his office. Right. Again, because it's Disney being PG-13 up to PG-13. I mean, they have an image to keep. And again, keeping a show on that had these remarks, like from a star who had this remarks, they had to set an example. And like I said, it's not the first time we're just getting this because it's Roseanne Barr. But how many people got already fired for making comments on Twitter, making comments on Facebook, on Instagram, putting up pictures that were unbecoming of an employee of that company? And it doesn't have to be a famous person.
No, definitely. Right? I tend to have a soft spot, a feeling for those that lost their jobs, I think. And, I'm not disagreeing with the fact that some kind of reaction had to occur. Of course it did. I just think it's sad that one person can impact so many lives in such a negative way, right? I think that's a shame.
Yeah, it is. And unfortunately, for all those, all the people's behind the scenes, all the other actors and actresses, yeah, they lost their livelihood because of this. So,
what is the chat saying?
Let's see here. It's all around Roseanne about.
Everybody's into the Roseanne thing.
Well, it is. I guess. I mean, it is. It's basically saying they're just basically talking about the intellectual property of Roseanne. Can you actually fire her or do a spin-off off of Roseanne when it's like intellectual property because based upon her stand-up comedy from years ago. So let's take a look here. Check out intellectual property when the stand-up community created the show around the stand-up material. And then we got Platinum 728 saying make her walk naked through the public like in Game of Thrones and apologize.
Wow.
Don't cancel the show. The remake was great. Yes, I do agree. I do agree. The remake was great. But do I really want to see Roseanne Barr walking naked down the street? I don't think so.
Yeah, the picture there is not very. I'm just glad this is during breakfast time.
Oh, I'm glad I had breakfast already. So.
Okay.
But then doing a spin-off on this wouldn't be the same. So.
No, I agree. I think the spin-off that they're planning, if they end up re-releasing the show Roseanne and not having Roseanne Barr there, it's like saying, "Hey, I'm having McDonald's, but it's been rebranded to Burger King." You know what I mean? It's not the same. It's literally not the same.
Are you comparing Burger King with McDonald's? Is that what you're doing there, the comparison?
Yeah, I know.
Hey, yo, Leonard, do not step there. Do not compare McDonald's to Burger King. You know who's going to win.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I agree. You cannot replace a character's name, from a show named Roseanne, especially in Roseanne. It's like saying Seinfeld. We're replacing Jerry Seinfeld, but we're going to keep the name Seinfeld. You know what I mean? It's not the essence of the show is gone because you lose a character that's supposed to be the main character. It's supposed to be there, right? So I think killing it, if they don't want the bad press, killing it is the most logical way to do it. But again, as Derek said, if she just apologizes in the beginning, it's like, I am wrong, this is me being stupid, then everyone will be okay, at least she apologized, and they'll just move along. right?
I don't know if that would have exactly happened that way. I just thought it would have had a better overall resolution.
No, I agree with you 100%. If she just apologized in the beginning and said, "Oh, my bad," I think they'll just get bad press for a couple of weeks and move on.
My bad.
Oh, sorry. Leonard, take a look here. We're getting buffering issues.
Okay.
You keep freezing on me, missing half the convo. Sorry about that. Who's this? It was Gorzo.
Okay.
Gorzo the third.
Okay, I think we should be fine. I have this feeling because according to my side, we're good. So I don't know what's happening.
The people are telling us there's a problem.
I know. I literally rebooted my router for this to make sure, and my modem to make sure that all the cache is gone. It gets reset.
Get a better router.
Yeah, I know. I'm already running gigabits, so.
You know what? I'm probably gonna at the end of the show for our tech of the. I might just do a plugin for Asus. I will, because honestly, this router that I have from Asus, since I bought it, I've not gotten any problems with it. So I haven't actually had to reboot it once at all, and I've had it for since Christmas.
Yeah, I'm hardwired in right now too, so I don't know. Bear with us. This is only our second fully streamed show now, so but at least it's better than last week.
Yeah, I still gotta watch that show.
Yeah, it will be up today, guys. Sorry about that. It's been a little crazy week. So, so any other comments about this Elon Musk / Roseanne topic?
No, I think I got more.
I think Mark was just like, it's over my head. I really don't know, man. I don't have an opinion.
Okay.
I don't have you know what? Honestly, with Elon Musk. I'm still trying to figure out if he's still with Amber Heard or not. So,
no. Okay. So the next topic is about a woman ordered to pay musician ex-boyfriend $350,000 for sabotaging his career. Derek, you sent me this article. Do you want to talk about this one, or you want me to keep going?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So here's a little backstory. In 2013, award-winning celloist Eric Abramowitz, I'm sorry, I think I'm definitely pronouncing his name wrong. Study at the Schulich School of Music at McGill University in Montreal, Canada. If you guys don't know where Montreal or McGill is, all right. In 2013, he got an acceptance letter to the to Coburn Conservatory of Music in LA, and he'll be studying under Johann Gilad, a world-renowned.
You're having a hard time with these names, man.
I know, dude. He's a renowned clarinet teacher. Okay, like one of the best. But here's the kicker: his ex-girlfriend or girlfriend at the time intercepted the email. His first initial email acceptance email. Okay, the girlfriend Jennifer Lee saw the email that he got accepted, so she decided to delete the email. Okay, after deleting the email, she opened another email account under Gmail with Johan Gillard's at gmail.com, telling him that he got a partial scholarship, knowing that he cannot afford the full scholarship and to move to LA. Okay? So a few years later, and they broke up, Eric performed in front of Eulard and found out what happened, that he declined the acceptance to go to this university, to the school and all that good stuff, and filed a lawsuit under Ontario Supreme Court. And on Friday, the ruling is she has to pay for damages of $350,000. Okay. So, this moral story here is, if your ex, well, there's really no more story. This is actually a crazy story. So, what do you guys think about this little article that came out on Friday?
Okay, give me 1 second. First of all, let me correct you. It wasn't the Supreme Court of Canada. It was Ontario. It was the Ontario Superior Court.
Superior Court, yeah.
Because they can still appeal to the Supreme Court, right? So,
But
Uh,
I think the ex-girlfriend has no legs to stand on this. I think there's there's emails. I think they have evidence.
I
Right?
know, but she wasn't even there. It's like it was a no contest. On this, but in my sense, yeah, I should say that definitely warranted it. Going behind somebody's back and defrauding them of a potential income and potential thing. I mean, anyone would do it. Like, I mean, it doesn't have to be a girlfriend or ex-girlfriend. Like, it could be anybody who stops you from gaining that foothold in life to get, for monetary gains, your status, you know, and your success in life. If anyone blocks you from doing that, then yeah, you should always be able to sue them for liability.
Yeah, I agree. It's just a
So-
crazy story that this is still happening. You know, crazy partners just go crazy, and not crazy, but it's just I think she's just. I have this feeling. If you look at her perspective, I think she just want to lose him, but at the same time, you're like, dude, there's other ways. You know, you can't pull this shit. This is a no.
So you were breaking. Sorry, Leonard. You were just breaking up there.
Okay, yeah, I was saying that she decided to pull this stunt.
Mhm.
She got caught. Right.
Yep.
I don't know if I call it a stunt. I think what her motivation is important to look at here. Like, she was worried that relationship would end. He was going to move away, assumably that he's going to move away to LA or whatever without her, and she was worried about losing him. I think that was part of the article, and that's awful. That really is, because it's what he loves. It's what he wanted to train for. I think it's terrible. I think it's also just random luck that he found out.
I agree.
Yeah.
I did check some of his performance online. He's actually really good. He's really, really good. Yeah, I'm just hoping that his career will take off, and hopefully he has a chance to rebuild.
So there's that, and so there's musicals, and now there's this, right, Leonard?
Yes. So if you guys want to talk about musicals in the next episode, let me know. I can definitely give you a list of what to talk about.
Hey, well, Phantom's back. All I know that.
Last week, Mark, one of our fans on the chat was like talking about musicals, and Leonard just lit right up, and he got really happy about it.
Dude,
It's very interesting.
musical is awesome, man. It's great. It's moving picture in real life.
Yes, it is. Hey, I can admit I love musicals.
I think that's the top. I think that's the title for this show. Moving picture in real life.
You know what? I have no problem in talking about musicals. If you want to put on the docket, that's fine, man.
Okay, so guys in the chat room.
Well, the point to this whole thing, karma's a bitch.
Yes, karma's a bitch.
Yes, I agree. So I'm actually gonna talk. I'm gonna ask the chat room this simple question. I know there's a 30-second delay on the time you guys hear this and the time you type it and the time we actually talk about it. I have a very simple question to ask the chat room. What do you guys want to talk about in the future episodes? And also, what do you guys want us to talk about now? Because as you know, we're very full of knowledge, and we do have Google in our midst to give us a hand to talk about these topics.
Wow.
So chat room, pick a topic and we'll talk about it. We do
Derek, you
have
just set us up,
roughly
eh?
about
I know,
15 minutes to talk about that topic.
You just set us up.
So we have Harry Potter
Give
just
it.
popped up.
If you want to talk about Skyrim, sure, I'll talk to you about Skyrim right now.
We have Harry Potter as a topic. I'm not a Potterhead. Sort of.
Oh, okay. Well, put Michelle on then. Put Michelle.
Let's get the executive producer here. Yeah.
Any other topics outside Harry Potter? I think Harry Potter, we still need to do a background check on that one.
You are doing good this week. The executive producer has not come into the room and yelled at you yet today, so you're doing good.
I know.
That happened last week. You have another thing to miss,
I
Mark.
massively screwed up last week regarding my facts, so now I'm much better.
Wait, that was, you mean it happened again about
Yes, it happened again, yeah.
No, the facts was correct. I just blundered the me telling the exact fact, but it did show up properly.
That would mean it's an error, and it happened
It's a user
again.
error.
Okay, fill me in what happened last week.
Derek, this is
Go
your
on,
story,
Leonard.
man.
Go on. It's your story.
Well, okay. Okay. First of all, I pronounced some of the people's names wrong in the chat room. I do apologize for that one.
Yeah, she ran in and said, well, she ran in and yelled the correct name, but we still did it wrong.
Well, I was okay. In my defense, I am dealing with technical difficulties in streaming, and top of that, I tried to read the comments in the same time. So my bad.
Is that same person in the chat again today?
I'm sorry.
Is the same person in the chat again today?
It's the same list. We got a couple of brand new people here, so I think.
Oh, who's the brand new people here? This is all new to me. This is the first time I saw this list. So.
No, it looks like it's the same people from last week. But for the same people from last week that watched us, thank you again for watching us. Much appreciated. So please tell your friends, colleagues, family members. We'll definitely entertain them every Sunday morning at 10. We can eat with you guys if you want. So, but yeah, if you guys wanna, if you guys wanna talk about, well, you know what? To be honest,
So
with you,
they want to talk about Harry Potter. So
yeah. Okay.
is there a specific topic about Harry Potter that needs to be discussed, or because it's hard for us to really give a generalized?
Time out. We got one here from Platinum 728. How do you feel about bicyclists in Toronto?
I bike in Toronto.
They suck.
Once in a while.
No, they suck. Big time.
Okay, the question is, what do you guys feel? Okay, I feel about it is I grew up in downtown Toronto, right? So I'm used to seeing cyclists in the city and biking around me while I'm driving, or me biking around pedestrians and cars. So my feeling about it is it sucks that drivers out there, some drivers doesn't know how to drive around the city with cyclists and other cyclists in a road, right?
Cyclists should learn how to ride on the road.
Let me finish. I do understand also that some cyclists out there can't bike for shit. Okay, I can honestly say that. Okay, because some cyclists, you think they own the road. Those cyclists are bad influence from other cyclists that wants to do the right thing.
But yeah.
Okay, so my thinking is cyclists should learn the rules of the road if you want to cycle in the city, in any cities, right? If they get hit by a car for doing something stupid, unfortunately it sucks, right? But again, they have to know the rules of the road. They can't just
and tell me how
blow
many cyclists
a red
actually
light or
stop
yellow
at
light.
a stop sign.
I'm sorry?
How many cyclists actually stop at a stop sign?
Very rarely now. I think as soon as you go to a major intersection, I think they're ending up stopping because they don't want to get hit by a car. But if a cyclist is going through a small intersection or even a side road, they won't stop. They don't stop. So that really pisses me off. So
While
that's
you're
how
being a cyclist,
Both.
or while you're in a car?
If I'm in a car, I expect them to stop in a stoplight. If I'm a cyclist, I expect myself to stop in a stoplight.
Okay.
Or a stop.
so
Sorry, even a stop sign.
So when there's multiple cyclists, how are you supposed to ride when you have multiple cyclists?
Wait, in the same direction?
Same direction.
Single file.
Single file. Okay, can you tell all those other cyclists, well, don't take up the whole damn friggin' road? I got cyclists. Oh, great. Hey, we got a cycling club in front of me. They're all supposed to be in a single file. But yeah, I got 4 abreast.
Oh, which one? The Spandex Club there?
Oh, yeah. The Spandex Club here in Mississauga. Definitely.
The Spandex Club, Leonard.
Yeah. Dude, it's like literally like a row of spandex going down the road with their cycling, and it's the weirdest thing. I'm not judging. It's just, guys, I agree with Mark.
You said you
Single
were in the
file.
Spandex Club. I asked the question. You said yes.
No, I'm not. Back in the topic here, I agree with Mark. A cyclist should be running in a single file. That's what that's the way you're supposed to ride a bike on a busy road, single file.
All right, and then how do you indicate that you're turning left? How do you indicate when you're turning right?
If you know how to drive and take driver's ed, it's the same thing, right?
Well, a lot of these
Left,
people don't drive.
stop, or slowing down.
Yeah. A lot of people don't drive, and they still don't know shit about how to ride their bike.
I agree. It is one of those things that cycling is a mode of transportation, and they should know the road, the rules of the road, right?
Oh, get about bicycle. On top of bicyclists right now, what's with these people on e-bikes? What are these people on e-bikes? They're even worse than cyclists.
Yes, because they're thinking about. In my opinion, those guys should have a motorcycle license.
Why?
Because it's a motorized vehicle.
It can go 12 miles an hour. Really, you can have wheelchairs that go at that speed. Almost.
But here's the thing though, e-bikes are going in the same roads as regular cars, and they're faster than some of them are faster than bikes. They're road bikes, I mean, like cycling bikes.
No, like I said, it's about like 12 miles an hour. It's not a significant speed. You can pedal at that speed.
Okay, I mean, yeah, it's not a significant speed. My issue is that they're on the road. They're actually on the road, and they don't know what they're doing. They're not.
So are you talking about this in the context of people are buying these bikes thinking that they're now a car and not observing biking regulations, or are you talking about them simply buying one of these and not educate themselves in the proper use of it?
Both.
Okay.
I've seen e-bikes, honestly, downtown Toronto. I'm right now doing the construction at the new wing of St. Mike. I'm there at the corner on my breaks or on lunchtime. I see guys delivering food on e-bikes. Okay, so those guys, people are using them for business. People are using them for commuting. My point is, you get an e-bike, you get a bicyclist, you get a regular bicycle. Know the damn rules of the road. We're talking about guys like e-bikes just cutting in front of cars. No indication that they're cutting us in. They want to make a left-hand turn, and they just cut right in front of us. I almost ran over. I drive a truck. I've literally almost ran some guy over on the e-bike because he just decides to come right in front of me. That's what my concern is. Like, guys with e-bikes, you can buy them for what? How many hundreds of dollars at Walmart? Take them out, and they don't know anything.
No, Mark, I agree with you 100% here because both of us have a motorcycle license. Okay, we had to go to classes to learn how to ride a bike, right? And those guys with e-bikes shows up in a store, buy an e-bike, they think they're a motorcycle or even a scooter. That's my issue is, if you're willing to buy a motorized vehicle, you have to be licensed. Or even partially, even special, even get a limited motorcycle license, the less than 50cc license, right? Mark, I agree with you 100% here. Ridiculous.
I mean, I don't think we should go that far because then all bicyclists, regardless e-bikes or bicycle, should get a license. I'm saying that what people have to realize, or what the ministry has to realize, is that a lot of people who are buying bikes may not have grown up here in Ontario or grew up in here in Canada, where when as young kids, we're actually taught the rules of the road while riding bikes. I remember, a lot of people and a lot of immigrants have come here. They get a bike.
Nobody taught me the rules of the road when I was a kid. I just drove around, man.
Well, what I'm talking about is that in school, as part of Safety Week or whatnot, they've taught us where, if you're going to ride your bike, this is how you ride your bike. They give you how to turn left, how to indicate you're turning right, how to indicate slowing down, and what rules you have to follow. I mean, it may be basic, but those basic rules are what a lot of people are lacking. And it's not like they understand, okay, you could be from Europe. There are laws on bicycling can be completely different from us. Again, same thing. You can be some, I think China is it China or Japan that has a lot of cyclists. You can come from one of those countries. You come here and you apply those same rules that you think it's what's right in your country, but it's not right here.
But Mark, with that said though, because stop is a stop is a stop. It's the same sign.
Yes, stop signs are stop signs, and you're supposed to stop. And I'm talking about other things where properly indicate, like them. I don't see any like riding but your bike in a single file, staying in the right hand side of the road, staying in the bike lane, or indicating when you're turning. Those things. I know a stop is a stop is a stop, but general habits have to be taught that you can't just turn your bike into oncoming traffic's lane and think that you have the right of way. And that's the thing, and I think that's the main thing. But cyclists think they have always the right of way when they don't.
What's the chat saying?
Actually, Platinum 728 says if a driver hits a cyclist, it's the driver's fault. Though even the cyclist wasn't sharing the road. I agree. If you're driving on a road and a cyclist gets hit or get injured, guess what? The driver's at fault, right? Not the cyclist. I think it's time to actually say, okay, the driver's driving where it's supposed to be. He's stopping where it's supposed to be, but the cyclist decided to do something stupid, right? The fault is theoretically it's not the driver's fault here, right?
Again, well, it
but
comes
unfortunately, it's the drivers are getting destroyed because of that. Because as Mark said, no one they don't follow the exact rules or the etiquette or even the universal rules of like single file cycling on a major street or any street.
Then again, it's the same thing with pedestrian. A driver hitting a pedestrian. A driver's guilty until proven innocent that he didn't hit that pedestrian, right? It's like all these hit and runs.
Guilty till he's proven innocent.
Yeah, it's actually
from a perception or from a legality.
Legality, it's our fault. Automatically, you hit a pedestrian.
Okay, I get that. All right, yeah.
So therefore, if it's our fault, we're already guilty that we hit this pedestrian, and the pedestrian had no fault at it as well. Until it's investigated, it's saying, "Oh, well, this pedestrian was jaywalking. This pedestrian crossed when it was a red light." Well, why is it automatically the driver's fault with cyclists as well? The cyclist is on the road. They have to, an investigation is, and they stay and they try to figure everything out. Like, did the cyclist veer into the oncoming vehicle? Like, did he leave his lane, get hit, and then what? Because he got hit, he got pushed back into his lane. So whose fault is that? The car's in his lane. You know what I mean?
have a better solution. I just don't go down to downtown Toronto.
True.
Well, the good news is the city is
and also, here's the thing. The density in Toronto is extremely high. The density of people and the density of bikes. So I think there's also possibly a statistical likelihood of a greater incidence in Toronto related to this because of the density. I mean, I think downtown Toronto has one of the highest population densities in Canada.
Yeah, I agree. It's Toronto's trying to fix this issue right now is just to provide separate lanes for the cyclists. It's the same thing in Montreal. Montreal actually has their own dedicated lanes for cyclists. Toronto is actually falling behind on it, but they are trying to fix that. If you do go major streets, I can't remember the name of the street. I think it's Sherbourne. They do have their own cycling lanes now, right?
Well,
and it is. Yeah, it is working because it's considered one of the major streets that cyclists are using now. Try to get them out of the major streets, but unfortunately, if you ever driven in downtown Toronto in Queen Street and during rush hour in a core, you have cyclists, you have e-bikes, you have motorcycles, you have streetcars, you have cars, bus, in the same road of a 4 lanes. It's a 4-lane road. Well, right.
I think Gorzo here actually has a good. Toronto needs to go see other countries to do it, how they do it in their cities with cyclists. It works very well in some European countries.
I agree.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think part of it is they plan at the initial part of building roads and building communities to have cyclists dedicated areas built into it originally. And Toronto, honestly, I don't see Toronto that it has the ability to do that. The real estate in downtown Toronto is so compressed, so hyper dense, that I don't know if they would actually be able to have a solution that works like that. Maybe in some roads, perhaps, but as you said, some of these roads are 2 lanes, they're major interfares. You're not going to be able to have a cyclist only area unless you completely eliminate parking on one side of the road or something to that effect, right?
Yeah, it's kind of funny though, because of if, as you said, if Toronto's grid system works 80 years ago or even 100 years ago, right? Now, if you're looking at our grid system in Toronto, it is the worst thing ever, because it's, as you said, it's very narrow. The only way you can fix this is make streets like the Pilot Street right now in King Street only the streetcars and cyclists. The only problem is that now you're limiting parking, right? You're changing the way the traffic goes, but you're ruining some businesses downtown, right? So
it eliminates business.
Yeah, it's catch-22. If you want a proper mode of transportation like cycling and transit, you need to provide that infrastructure. But unfortunately, Toronto does not have that infrastructure. No, I think he just went somewhere.
He's like, I'm done with this. I'm leaving.
He put up the table and walked away. But to be honest with you guys, I definitely agree with all you guys are saying about this. Even the chat rooms are agreeing with this as well too. The Toronto needs to fix this. But the only way they can fix this is someone needs to get upset. A group has to get upset to get the other group to be to agree with to fix that, right? So in other words, if you side from one group, the other group gets pissed off, or vice versa, right?
Yes.
So
I did want to walk off, but my freaking line for my freaking headset wasn't long enough, so I had to come back.
Okay, so chat room. If you want to add any other subjects for the next future episodes, tweet us at coffee shop _stew. That'll be awesome. At least we can definitely put that into our docket for future episodes. If you decide to drop us a fan mail, definitely drop us off a tweet as well too. It'll be awesome, because so the world can actually see that we actually exist.
Yeah, we do exist. I'm alive.
Yeah. Also, if you're watching this in YouTube, definitely join us every Sunday at 10 a.m. at twitch.tv/ the coffee shop studio. That'll be awesome as well too.
Okay. So Platinum wants tech time.
Tech time. Platinum.
Tech time.
What kind of tech do you want to talk about? You want to talk about mobile phones, computers, Apple versus Windows? Mark, this is gonna be fun.
Apple versus Windows.
No, we're not starting right now. We're gonna wait for this. If someone suggested this.
Apple versus Windows.
Yeah. So any text that you guys want to talk about, we're definitely into that one. If you a specific tech topic, that definitely we'll talk about it. Any other topics that you want to talk about regarding food? We're willing to talk about food.
Oh,
coffees. We'll talk about coffees. Anything you want, we'll talk about.
Food.
Pick of the week. Tech time.
Oh, okay. Tech time. Here we go. And as I was doing a preview, I was showing this off. Yeah. So
Before that, okay, we're going to our segment now called Tech Time. Because we're wondering, this is when all three of us will choose a tip or a tech to show off to let you guys know, hey, we found this thing that works really well. Definitely check them out. Okay, Mark, you want to go first? It looks like you want to go first.
Oh, yeah, okay. So, since you were talking about routers and how you had to reboot your router and having all this buffering issues and whatnot, first off, I have to say we are not sponsored by ASUS, but I have to say that this is one of the best.
But if they want to, they're allowed to.
Yes, if they want to send me some tech to test out, I would love to test their stuff out, especially any of their ROG stuff. So, routers. I've had this router. This is the AC2900 from ASUS, the AC86U. I've had this since Christmas, and it is great. It is a multi-input, multi-output solution for a household. Just to let you know, my household and the amount of people I have in here, we have more than 20 devices going off this router, from a desktop PC to laptops to digital, tablets, cell phones, Apple TV, Android box, you name it, we've had it on this router. For the past 6 months that I've been using it, I have not once had to reboot this router. I have gigabit Ethernet coming in, and it is distributing it properly throughout the household. This is an 1,800 square foot semi-detached house with 3 floors. We get reception all the way down to the basement, and this router is actually upstairs on the 3rd floor. I get reception out in my backyard, back in the front yard. With my previous routers before, and with the Rogers own router, I couldn't even get reception into daughter's room, which is on the same floor but in the front of the house. So if you guys want to check it out, definitely you can get it at your local Best Buy, Canada Computers, whatnot. It is a bit pricey. It is about, you're going to spend over $200 for it. However, it is going to be money well spent. So,
hey, Derek, do you have anything?
No, not specifically for this week. I was looking into having something, but it didn't materialize that way. I think that I liked what Mark was saying about the router. My router is also Asus, and as a brand, I like their brand as well. Mine's a little bit older. It's probably a 2-year-old router, and I do actually have some problems with it, but that's probably because I have it in a little nook area where I probably shouldn't have it in, where the reception is just blocked by like 3 walls, so it's not really the best ideal place.
Perfect. Actually, Gorzo the Third asked if you have a Rogers router, can you buy your own router?
Yes,
yeah, you can.
Definitely.
Yep.
I'm doing it right now. I'm a perfect example.
I think Rogers routers are very basic, and the one that Mark is talking about can handle a lot more information. They give you a cheap bottom of the line, very.
Actually, no, you know what? Let's Rogers. Basically, no, the routers are not cheap of the line. With Rogers, they actually give you an AC router to deal with a higher bandwidth. However, the technology behind it, it's not MIMO, multi-input, multi-output.
In other words, you can't have your 20 devices on it effectively.
Effectively, that's right. Because basically what I can say is instead of it being a 4-way highway like my router, it's a 1-lane highway. So to get information, it's everybody gets one bit at a time. So it's like the first device in line will get their stuff first, then the second person after that, and it keeps going back around. With with my Asus router, a multi-input, multi-output, you can have a 3x3, a 2x2, or 4x4. I can get 4 devices as long as it's supported. I could get 4 devices going and getting information at the same time.
Right.
And most modern cell phones, smartphones, and tablets have that built in, that multi-input, multi-output, that I get 3 devices getting their information at the same time and not bottlenecking and not causing a traffic jam to my router.
Right.
And it's just technology. It's not that they're using something cheap. It's something that they're not investing in yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. Leonard,
Sorry,
it looks
Derek.
like we're pushing 11 here.
Yeah. So my tip of the week is stay tuned for new shows. And sponsors, if you guys want to sponsor us, definitely, we're willing to take your money. So, so my tip of the week is this, though, guys. If you decide to stream a live show like this, definitely test your shit first. I've been testing this before we went live. I've been testing this for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks straight, and my partner's I'm driving my partner crazy. So, but I just want to say thank you very much for. She's very understanding She's awesome. But if you are planning to do something that's streaming like this, what we're doing, I definitely recommend Game Show. It's by Wirecast. It's free. There's no watermark at all until you reach 1080. We're not planning to stream 1080 right now because we're still trying out new things. But yeah, my tip of the week is test your system before you stream. We did. We learned our lessons really fast, and I'm just glad that we did, to be honest with you. At least I know what needs to be fixed. So, yeah. So that's all I have. If you have any questions or comments, please, we'll leave the chat window open for the next few more minutes to finish off comments. If you have any questions, comments, leave it below, and if you're watching this in YouTube, tweet us. Will be awesome too. And it's 11:02. We're time to eat our breakfast. So thank you again. Much appreciated. We'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.
Bye.